can hear me and what the music sounds like, if it's too soft or too loud. I also don't know what these tracks sound like. Okay, so how does it sound while I'm talking right now? Does it need to go down? Okay. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna try to make you a mod. Because I was still logged in from last time. So I think it will let me do this. Just give me a moment. Hi everybody! Welcome back to Wigwork Wednesdays, where you get to tune in and watch me do wacky things with wigs for fun and to help you guys learn. So, I have the chat open in another window, and I did try to make this size pretty big so that I can see it from back here. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat, which will be over here. And new nifty thing that was up last stream, your messages will show up in this little chat window. So that I can see them, and you will forever be memorialized on the stream pods. Woo! Before we go ahead and get started to talk about what we're going to cover today, just in case anybody's late, I just wanted to give you guys some info about my coordinate today in case you're wondering. So everything that I'm wearing is by Lady Sloth. I've never bought anything from her before, and she might have gained a new really loyal customer because I am plus sized in this area and this is so comfortable. It fits perfectly. The length of the torso is great, and it's just so soft and comfy. The JSK that I'm wearing is called Where's the Bat? It has Sphinx cats and bats on it. It's in lavender, and then the beret, blouse, overlay, everything is Lady Sloth. Even the wrist cuffs, which have that lace on them, which you may be able to see. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to show up on the camera or not. But without further ado, let's begin. So today I want to cover two main things. This stream may take half an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how many questions you guys have and or how long everything takes to do. But the first thing that I would like to cover is I'm going to show you guys how to do a hairstyle that I did on this wig, but on this wig. And to show you guys the end result, this is what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to move her a little bit closer to the camera. So you can see we have 2 rows of French braids and this nice like corset laced ribbon going down the back of the hair. And then down here where the ribbons end, you could put like a hair clip or a bow, anything here, or you could continue and you could even braid in the rest of the hair as it goes all the way down. So we're going to cover how to do this today. And you don't need anything really fancy. You just need ribbon. You might need a lot of ribbon. And you need some bobby pins, and you need a wig. So pretty easy one there. And the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut bangs. Yes, by popular demand, I will be cutting bangs for the first time in a year and not on my real hair, on a wig, and I'm doing it live on stream. So you guys can give me feedback if you think they're crooked, please let me know. But I'll give you guys some of the tips and the ways that I approach cutting bangs on a wig. I am by no means a hair professional, but I have a lot of experience with wigs, so I'm hoping that something that we will cover here can translate to you guys and your needs and things that you want to try. So again, welcome to the stream. If you have questions, put them in the chat, and we're going to go ahead and get started. First, you guys can hear me okay, right? The audio level's fine? I think so. I just haven't seen anything in the chat in a while. Just want to make sure you guys are still here with us. So I'm going to move this guy out of the way. I'm going to put her in the back, and I'm going to turn her around just so you guys can get a good reference of what we're doing. You'll notice the new backdrop where I even have wigs hanging, short and long. Alright, so we're going to start with a detangled long wig. And I'm going to turn her around here so that you guys can see what exactly we're doing. And I might actually need to set her on something. So we're just going to take a quick look around the room. We're MacGyvering this. Okay, and apparently the chat is not showing, so I'm just going to do this. Oh. Okay. Okay, so now I think that fixed the chat issue, which is good. We're just going to take a quick second, and we're going to change the bitrate settings again. We're going to change this to like... Okay. So before we get started, let me know if this changed the lagginess at all. Is it any better now than it was before? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. We should be able to see it in the chat soon because I did reopen the chat box. So now the chat messages are showing up appropriately. I'm going to do some wiggle arms to make sure that the lag isn't bad. Okay, so if the lag's not bad, then we can get started. So I'm going to tip the camera down a hair so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Or I might move her onto this tub right here. So actually I'm going to do that. So please excuse the ugliness you're about to see, which is like the top of my head, maybe the underneath of the background. Some rustling. Don't worry. All of this was definitely planned out beforehand. I was 100% ready for this exact scenario. And I also wanted to show you guys a quick wig hack. So, you will notice, well, first of all, she just got really tall because now she's on a Tupperware tub. But I only own one wig stand. So how can I have 2 wigs on 2 wig stands when I only own one wig stand? Well, the other wig stand is a music stand, and I think there's a logo on here. This is by Onstage Stands. It is one of those big, sturdy metal music stands, and I just took the part that holds your sheet music off, and it's the perfect diameter around the top for a wig head. So this is honestly extremely sturdy. You can yank on the hair pretty much any direction, and it's not going to move because these are made to stand up for like concerts and, you know, professional musicians, maybe in an outdoor setting even. So it's prepared to like hang on if it needs to blow around. So that's pretty good, and I'm very, very happy with this. I've used this for years until I got a real one, which is honestly less sturdy than this, but it goes taller, and it has a smaller diameter for the wig heads that have the smaller diameter like neck hole. So let's get started for real. So the first thing I'm gonna need to start this style is I'm gonna need to detangle this wig. Now we did a detangling tutorial and walkthrough last week, so I'm not going to put you guys through that torture again. I know you saw enough of me doing this and putting oil in the hair and us just kind of shooting the breeze back and forth for almost half an hour to an hour. But we don't need to do that today because I stayed up last night and I detangled her for us. So what we need to do now is figure out where we're pulling the hair from the top. So you can see over here kind of there's two braids running down either side. So we need to section off where those are going to be. So I took hair, and I'm going to scoot this down just a little bit so that I can see it a little bit better. I'm not quite that tall. I'm going to scoot her down and just felt some hair get caught down here. So I'm just going to comb through that. And I'm going to figure out where up here I want to take the hair from. So what I did on this wig over here was I looked at, I can just turn the head on here, nice. I looked at, she has these bangs here that come down like this. So I went from here and I kind of just worked my way up all the way to the top, and then I just took, all the way up to the top, and I just took a teeny little section about right here. So I'll scoot this hair closer to the camera. You'll notice I got this beautiful flowery background, which is nice and white so that the white balance isn't terrible every week. And I'm just going to take a clear rubber band, which is probably one of the most underrated tools in wig styling. And I'm just going to pull this aside so that I don't accidentally pull this into the braid. And why this hair is so important is it's going to help cover the wefts in the end if we accidentally pulled too much of it. You can see when I go like this, you can see these little lines here. And we don't really want to see that. It's like seeing your scalp, but you can tell it's fake. You can tell there's some stitches there. And of course I just caught some hair with my finger, so I need to redo this. And this wig is a little bit different from the other one. The other one has a little bit of a skin top, and what that means is it's wefts that are sewn so tightly together, it's almost as if it was like a real head of hair with skin underneath, where the hair kind of just grows out all over. It's not strips of hair sewn together. This one doesn't have that, so we are going to kind of improvise a little bit as we go. So again, like I mentioned, I'm going to grab my wide tooth comb, and I'm going to take a section of hair. First I'm going to split it down the middle actually, to decide where I'm taking the hair. I'm just going to run this lightly down the back of the head. You don't want to press too hard because you'll just catch it in the wefts. Okay, I'm going to separate this, and I think I have a little hair clip here. I do. But again, any opportunity I can get, I'm just running the comb through the wig to make sure, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you guys. Just running my comb through the wig to make sure that it doesn't get tangled. And to keep this from getting tangled, I'm twisting the ends. I'm very close to you guys, I'm so sorry. Here we go, that's probably better. I'm twisting the ends together, and I'm just going to wrap it up and out of the way. And I'm going to take, I have a little hair clip here, but you can use bobby pins. I'm probably also going to grab some bobby pins, and I'm just going to clip this to some of the other hair and bobby pin it as well to keep it out of the way. Alright, so that's that side, so we're going to start with this right side. So, I'm going to, again, comb through this hair. It looks like it got a little tangled. And I'm going to take a small section from the top. Very, very, very small section. You don't need a lot to get it started because we're essentially doing a French braid. We're just only taking in hair from one side. So if you didn't know how to French braid before, you will be getting a kind of mini variation tutorial here today. So I'm going to scoot even closer because I just want you guys to really be able to see what we're doing. If you're wondering, this wig is from Dreamholic. This is the Love Letter in white linen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate this piece of hair into 3 sections, preferably equal, but they don't have to be perfect. You know, especially if it's your first time, don't worry too much about it. It's okay, it's a wig. You know, it's not going to be upset. And I can guarantee you nobody's looking close enough at your wig to tell you that your sections were uneven. Okay, so I have 3 sections here now in my fingers. I'm going to do the start of a French braid, so I go right over the center one. And then I'm going to go left over the center one. And then what I did when I did this with the other wig was I kind of put this extra hair on my shoulder because it's so long. And then I'm going to do right over the center again. And now this time, instead of just doing left over center, sorry if this is hard to see, let me know. Instead of doing left over center again, I'm going to first grab a tiny bit of hair from where we separated this part here. I'm just going to grab like a thin section, and I'm going to pull it into the left strand. Make sure that it's nice and smooth here. Make sure that I'm smoothing all these frayed hairs down. And now I'm going to cross the left hair over the center and then continue with my braids. Now I'm going to go right over center. So now again, like a French braid, I'm going to pick up a little bit of hair and add it to this left strand from about where we parted the hair. Just a little bit here. It's a little bit hard to tell with a wig this light, you know, where the cap of the wig is and where it isn't, because the wig cap is very close to the hair color of this wig. So I'm putting a little bit of hair in this left section, and then I'm pulling it over the center strand again. Okay? Now I'm going to go again with the right over the center. Same deal. We're going to grab some more hair from the left side, add it to the left strand, and we're going to cross over. And what I'll do when I try to edit this video before putting it on YouTube is I will speed this up so that you guys can just see it a few times, and then you can see a sped up version. Okay, so I'm grabbing some more hair, and the section that I grabbed here was very thin, but it stretched pretty far down. Okay, so that's going in the left hand strand, and then the right is going to go over. Okay, and I'm just going to click this chat box one more time, just in case it stopped working, and I think it's still working. You guys are very quiet today. And as I work this braid down, you'll notice that I'm not following the shape of the head. What I'm trying to do is go straight down, and I'm basically making a framework for the corset lacing. Okay? So, that being said, again, next strand, we're going to grab a little bit of hair from the left. This one is a little bit over here. I want to make sure I'm not grabbing any hair from that part I sectioned off. Some hair from the left, cross the right over. And then I got a little bit of tangly here, so I'm just going to take a second, make sure that all the hairs are where they're supposed to be. Nice see hair here that is supposed to be with the right section. The more experience you have in braiding, the more you'll kind of realize where things went wrong and how to fix them. So definitely don't expect to be a pro right away. It takes time and patience. So next we're going to take another strand from the left. We're going to do the same thing. We're adding this hair into the braid. Just a little bit here. And then we're going to cross that left over center and then the right over the center. Still working our way down the wig. The rest of the hair is sticking to my very sweaty hands. I'm sorry. I get sweaty palms when I am nervous, and I'm always nervous for public speaking, even though I do a pretty good job at it. Okay, so now we have reached about where the ear would be. This is about where your temple is on the wig. If you'd like, you can stop here. You don't need to go all the way down. I'll do pick up one more section of hair, and then continue braiding all the way to the end of the strand. So, this is our next piece here. I'm going to grab one more section of hair here. Oh, sorry, I got very close to the camera there. Didn't mean to do that to you guys. Alright, one more section of hair. Crossing it over into that left hand strand. And now, this is going to go over the center. I'm going to turn her a hair so that I can, I'm turning her a hair, just so that I can make sure that I'm still following the right path here. And now I'm just going to braid all the way down. So, similar to what we were doing before, braiding is you take the one strand that's free, cross it over the center strand, then do the same opposite thing. So we're going to go right over the center, and I'm going to take a second to come through this because I can see the tangles forming already. So don't be frustrated if you are braiding a wig. It is probably going to get tangled on you. Just have your comb handy. Okay, so we did that. Now we're going to go right over the center, and we're going to just work our way all the way down this wig. Because I want this to look really sleek, I'm not braiding very fast, even though I can, because again, I want to keep all these little flyaways in place where they should be. I don't really want them interfering with my style. If you're having trouble with the flyaways, I would just suggest you go nice and slow as you work your way down the wig. And also, if you get a few, don't worry about it. It's wig. Again, the wig isn't going to be mad at you for that, and nobody is really looking that close at your wig while you wear it. Nobody is going to shade you for having some flyaways. At least most ladies I know are not like that, so I'm just continuing to work my way down this braid. And you can see we're getting kind of close to the bottom, so I'm going to scoot back a little bit now. Has anybody bought any new wigs lately? That's I know I have some Dreamholic wigs coming in the mail. They've been in the mail for a long time. Not sure when they're gonna get here. I know one of my friends watched my wig panel, and she bought a wig from Arda, so congratulations on the wig. I'm excited for it to get here, and I hope that you like it. And if you need me to do any work for it, let me know, and drop it off at my house. Maybe bring me some cupcakes, and I will help you with the wig. So we're almost at the bottom here. Again, I'm just kind of trying to take care as I go down, because this wig has a lot of layers, there's a lot of flyaways. Trying to keep them all tamed. So close to the end, and the closer you get to the end, the more you want to rush. But if you rush, it's just going to start kind of tangling on you, especially if your wig is a little bit frizzed out from a lot of wear. This wig has had a decent wear time. I think I've worn it maybe 3 or 4 times, and I lent it to a friend who wore it once, so she's seen the rounds already. Okay, and we're at the end finally. Gonna take our clear rubber band, and we're gonna band this around the bottom. If you ever decide to commission a wig from me, I promise I will not use my mouth on the rubber bands because coronavirus and public health is very important. Oh no! Your post office burnt down. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to read your username and it's so small. Penecho 13, I think that says. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that your post office burned down. That's so sad. Yeah, trying to think. Another good thing about Dreamholic wigs is there are a lot of people secondhand selling them on Lace Market. So maybe you'll get lucky. I hope, fingers crossed for you. Maybe you can find somebody who's local who's selling one. I know at my com's local swap meets, there's almost always somebody selling like 4 or 5 wigs, or there's at least like 6 or 7 wigs across like 20 people. So hope, fingers crossed, I hope that you can figure it out. And I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of the post office. That's so sad. I order so many things in the mail. I don't know how I would function without it. I just had new stuff come from Amazon. I'm making a new computer, so my computer case came this week. Very excited. It's pink because I like pink, even though my favorite color is blue. You wouldn't know that if you saw my belongings. Okay, so we finished this section here, and what I have kind of tried to do here is this braid looks like it's a little bit far to this side to me, so I'm just kind of trying to loosely pull on it and not move the wig. I'm actually going to add another T-pin, T-pose for your T-pins. Can you see it? Yeah. I'm going to put this right here on the temple. I don't want her to move on me as I'm doing this. And I'm just kind of trying to like scooch this braid over a little bit because where this braid is only dependent on the length of this hair that I added. So I'm kind of trying to scooch some of that hair out so that I can move the braid over. And this is working decently well, but not perfect. Alright, so that's one side. We are about a third of the way done. I'd say that's a third of the process. So you can see here, I'll scoot closer. When we did that braid, we did expose some wefts. You can kind of tell, like right in here. But this looks a little bit strange. You can see a little bit of the seams here. So those are the wefts, and we don't want those to show. we really don't. So that's why I pulled away this hair in the beginning from the front of the wig. And what I'm gonna do now is do the best thing that is about rubber bands, is you can just cut them out. And all I'm gonna do is just slip the blade of my scissors under one of the loops of the rubber band and just pull, and it snaps. And then you don't worry about, frizzing out your wig or anything like that. You can just cut them right out and they're done. And this made like such a nice perfect curl because this wig was curled once. It hurts me to brush it out, but that's what we're gonna do. So we're just gonna kind of brush this hair out, and we're just gonna move it over, and look, we've covered up where the weft was. What? How about that? Super cool. Probably could have taken some of this hair into the French braid looking at it from the front compared to the other wig, but this wig's bangs are pretty short, and I might cut a few more into them. Maybe? I won't be cutting this wig today. I'll be cutting a different wig. Alright. Well, it's already 7:30 and I've only done one side of this wig. So what I'm going to do is kind of speed through the other side. So if you're just joining us now, the style that we're working on today is what you can see on this wig back here. So it is 2 French, like half French braids with a corset laced ribbon down the middle. So I'm going to move on to the left hand side. And again, I shouldn't have pulled this hair over just yet. I'm going to pull all the hair that was on this right side. I'm going to separate it out because I don't want to accidentally use it. I'm going to twist the strands together so they don't get tangled. And I'm just gonna get some bobby pins and pin them up. So bear with me while we do this really quick. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be enough to get it out of the way. And I think that that is going to hold. So again, we're gonna scooch, coming up to you guys, so that you can better see what I'm working with. So now I've done one side. Oops, that's not a good angle there. I've done this one side here, and you can kind of see where the start of the braid is up here, so I want to make sure I take care from exactly the same section just on the other side. So I'm going to try to do that now. I need to make her a little bit shorter so that I can see her better, so bear with me for a moment here. So I pulled hair right here, so I'm going to grab the same little triangle of hair out of the scalp here, and I'm going to use my handy dandy comb to assist me. Looks like some of this hair got pulled over to this side, so we will leave that alone. Grab this same little triangle here and just very gently separate this hair from the rest of the mass that is this huge long wig. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I hope that this works for you to do. Is it pronounced Larme? I think there's two. I think I've seen it spelled strangely with like two L's, and I always went to do like a Spanish pronunciation like Yarme, but I'm sure it's Larme. I love that look. It's so pretty. Oh, I don't do any Larme, but I would if I had pieces in my wardrobe. Unfortunately, I like Gothic too much, so I end up doing a bunch of Lolita and then like Gothic and punk styles. But yay, I hope that this works out for you. So again, I just took another section here, and this is looking a little thick to me, so I'm gonna pull it out, pull out some hair, sorry. And I realize now I made a mistake, but that's okay, we can fix mistakes. I didn't separate any hair from the front of the wig to hold it out from the style. So what I'm gonna do is this hair that I have sectioned off to be the start of my braid, I'm just gonna set her aside. And I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to look to see about the same area. I think I grabbed it right about at the temple, and this feels about right where that is. And it is perfect. And I think I might grab just some hair behind it as well. Haha, a hair behind. Oh my gosh, the puns are so bad. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm coming for Poopy's gig, and I'm not. So we're just gonna pin this out of the way as well. Grabbing a bobby pin. And I might be able to do it with just one. Yeah, she's gonna stay. Okay, so we're gonna start our braid again. I'll scooch her back up so that you guys can see a little bit better. And this hair is now sticking to everything, so I'm gonna put it back out of the way before I move this up. This is where I forget how the music stand works, and I forget how to elevate the wig. So, give me just a second here. Here we go. Scooching this back up, and I will also scoot a little bit closer to you guys. Alright. Here we go. Can we see this okay? I think that looks fine. Alright. So again, we're starting a half, I'll call this like a half French braid. So we're French braiding, but we're only adding hair from this side. And as we add it, we're trying to keep the braid in one position here. So these strands will not be like tight into the wig, they'll be loosely pulled in at different intervals. So I'm gonna start this braid by splitting it into 3 sections. This is the technique I always do. I don't know if there's any particular way you should do it. I always just take 2 fingers and just kind of go in between and separate the hair, and that tends to work for me. I'm not sure if that will help anybody. I hope it does. And I'm just going to start the braid here. So I think right over left, and then left over center, I guess. Right over center, left over center, and I'm going to do like 1 full sequence there. So I'm going to go over with this inside one more time. And now when I do the outside one, I'm going to add some hair to it. So here's where I'm going to throw the hair over my shoulder, because I don't really want to cut you guys off with the camera here. I'm going to use my handy dandy mirror that is right in front of me to figure out where I'm going to grab this hair. I think that this piece will work. So I'm going to add it to this section. If I am looking in a strange place, it's because I'm looking in the mirror, so I apologize again. So I've added this to the left section, and now we're going to go over the center piece. Oops. The hair is getting away from me. No. Oh my goodness. This is the problem with very long wigs, is they are very long, and they have a mind of their own. Okay, so we gotten that piece over finally. I'm actually going to take out some of this hair because it looks like it doesn't belong in this section. So I might need to rack the comb through this in a second here. Because you see I've just created this gigantic, you might not be able to see it. There's a big old mess of hair here that is a tangle waiting to happen, honestly. So I'm just going to try to get back up on this. Okay, and now we're just going to go back over the center, and now when we go over with this right section, we're going to grab and add some more hair to it. So again, I am looking in my handy dandy full length mirror that is not anywhere near me, and I'm going to try and grab some hair and add it to this left hand side. So I'm going to try not to cut you guys off too bad here. I'll step this way, this might be better. Just gonna grab like a really thin section of hair. You don't need a lot. Okay. You can tell I'm right-handed because I'm having a really hard time with this side. Like I'm good at one side and not the other. Okay. So I've added that hair in. I'm gonna continue my French braids. I'm gonna go over the center with that piece. And I'm gonna go over the center with the left piece. And again. Now I'm on the right side again, so I'm going to grab a little bit more hair. You can see we are really exposing the wefts on this side, so that's why it was so important we took some of that hair aside for like kind of the bangs area to hide that. This hair is not cooperating with me as well as the left side did, so bear with me, but this is real life wig styling in the wild. It does kind of tangle on you as you go. Just, you know, have patience. It's okay. Styling can be cathartic. It's like, I don't know, it's like any other art project. You're creating something, creating a hairstyle. Okay, so we're gonna go with this inside over, and then we're gonna add hair to this right side again. Is everybody liking the music that I'm playing today? I can't actually hear it. I have to mute my laptop so that the microphone doesn't pick it up, and I'm not wearing any headphones. But it's from a playlist called Stream Beats that is free to use for streamers and YouTubers, and that's why I'm using it. But I hope that you guys like it. You can let me know some of your feedback in the comments or on Discord. Either works for me. So I'm just taking a second to comb through this wig because it started getting a little bit tangled on me, and I wasn't really feeling it. So we're just gonna keep going, and while I do this, I'm keeping in mind where I stopped on the other side, so that when I reach that same section on this side, I can stop. All right. So grabbing a little bit more hair here, we have completely exposed the wefts on this side. It is atrocious, actually. So I'm going to try my best to rectify that a little bit. And we're just going to keep going. So left strand over. Alright, and there's not too much farther we need to come down. I think I came down to about the base of the head on the other side. I guess that's what that was. Either that or this wig is on here very crooked. Pulling over a little bit more hair. And we're very close to where we're going to stop with the French braiding. And again, I'm just really trying to keep this hair where I want it. Not an easy thing to do sometimes. Especially if you have a wig like this that is, she's being a little uncooperative today, but that's fine. We still love her. She's gorgeous. Alright, and now I am pretty sure I've reached where I want to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and start my regular old braid, just continuing all the way down this long strand of hair. Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that the music works out. Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to play test it yet, because I do still work I'd say like a 9 to 5, but it's really an 8 to 5. And I don't get a lot of time to listen to music because I'm usually on conference calls with people. So again, just kind of taking my time here. I'm gonna brush through where I think it's getting tangled, and I'm just gonna work my way all the way down. And when I get to the bottom, I'm gonna add a little rubber band to it. So this is coming along. I will turn her so that you guys can see, maybe like this. So you can see this is going to be a pretty wide corset lace, so I'm going to switch her over. We've switched sides here. So this corset lace is going to be pretty wide, which could be really pretty. I don't know. We'll see how it looks when she's done. But I'm going to keep braiding here. And if I'm too quiet, let me know. I did just move across the room and I'm facing a different direction, so I might even be louder. Who knows? You guys know, and you can let me know in the chat. But yeah, working our way all the way down to the bottom here. I know it's a little bit tedious with a long wig, but it is worth it. It is so pretty to have this done. The brown wig just looks gorgeous back there. So like this, I guess I can go like that. And I know I'm out of the frame now, but I think that the wig is a little bit more important than me at this time. So, oh, I can't even catch the end of the braiding on the stream, so I guess I'll turn back into frame. I'll get back in the shot, because you guys can't see what's happening really if I'm not over here. Can't win with this wig, it's so long. It's so long and it takes up so much of the frame. Whee! So I'm almost at the bottom here. We're getting there. So close. And I see the rubber bands. They're within arm's reach. And I'm gonna grab one now. Just snatch that. Okay, keep this other hair out of the way so I don't pull it in with the rubber band. Alright. And we are halfway done. Actually, I think we're a little bit more than halfway done, honestly. So I'm going to let this hair that we pinned up go so that it can fall down and cover up those wefts again. And we pinned up quite a bit of hair, didn't we, here? There are pins everywhere. So I'm just going to kind of flip this hair back, kind of comb it back so that it covers up those wefts best I can. And I know that I say a lot of good things about Dreamholic, because the wigs are beautiful and the colors are always great, but some of them are a little bit thin. The wefts are a little thin, so like this is kind of an example. I feel like you can see the wefts through the hair, but I'm not entirely certain. You guys can let me know how you think that looks. Okay, so now we have two braids, which I admittedly did kind of tight, so they are very far apart. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to step off frame for a second, and I'm going to get some ribbon. But actually, before I do that, I want to show you guys a style you can do with this hair once it's like this. So if you only wanted to do this braiding, you could just take these sections here and crisscross them at the back, and tuck them underneath the hair, and you've kind of made yourself a little ponytail. If I can do this. successfully. The hair is like, we want to tangle today, and I'm like, I detangled you last night. But you could do something like this, and now you have like a little ponytail without a ponytail kind of thing. Or you could just take these in the back, cross them, you could pin them, you could continue going up and pin them like a braided like headband almost, and pin them at the top here. And that would be really, really pretty for like classic Lolita. So it's also going to help to cover your wefts here. So this would work really, really well. So I would recommend this. Actually, this looks beautiful. So what we might do here is we might do the corset lacing, and then we'll pull these ends up and we'll pin this hair down on the top. Okay, so I'm going to grab my ribbon. So give me just a second here. All right. Oh, perfect. Perfect. We have purple ribbon, purple JSK, and that will look great on the blonde hair. You guys will be able to see it very well. So because these braids are so small, I'm going to scoop back up to you guys in a second. But first, I'm just going to show you what I'm working with. So this is about a 1/2 inch ribbon. What I have here is 10 yards. You don't need 10 yards, certainly. And I have taped the end because I was afraid it was going to fray. So I'm going to untape that. And to determine how much I'm going to need, you can notice for this one that over here that I did before that there's a lot of extra hair there. I mean, a lot of extra ribbon there. There is a lot of extra hair there, but there's even more ribbon. And I just took a whole spool, not one that was this big, it was like a used one, and I just took all the ribbon off of it because I was afraid I would run out. But what you can do is stretch out your ribbon, look at about the distance from here down, and then I would say maybe add about half that, because you are going to be weaving back and forth, and if you want to go all the way down, you want to make sure you have enough. And then, so the 1.5, that's going to be your new halfway point. So then I would go all the way down. I know I'm not going to use this ribbon for anything else, so I'm okay with cutting this. It's kind of a craft supply I've been hoarding for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this right here. Whew. With extremely dull scissors, apparently. So we will not be using these to cut the bangs, because they will not work. Alright. And what I did when I weaved the other wig together is I used this, and this is probably the biggest sewing needle I could find. I'll hold it up against my wrist cuffs. So the eye on the sewing needle is pretty big, and I fished the ribbon through here and I just sewed it back and forth. But if you don't have one of these, which I don't expect people to have one of these, or if you have a yarn needle would work awesome for this, is you can use a bobby pin. Yes, you can use a bobby pin to do this. I will show you how in just a moment. So we're going to go ahead and start by taking this huge length of ribbon. It's folded in half now. Oh, it's so long. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to find the middle. And just to make sure that I don't have wonky ends, if I don't want to cut this ribbon again, I'm going to put a bobby pin in the middle, and I'm going to pin it like right in the middle here somewhere, just while I get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weave one ribbon first, and then the other ribbon second. And I will do kind of like half and half bobby pin versus sewing needle. So I'm going to use the sewing needle first, just because it's a little bit faster. So to thread this, I just kind of poke the corner of the ribbon through, and then grab it and pull, and it does eventually work its way through. There's a little bit of resistance, but you want to make sure you have a tail so you don't come unthreaded. Alright, and now we're going to start. So I'm going to scoot back up to you guys. I'm sorry, I can never decide if I can just push this with my feet or if I need to scoot it some other way. And I will push her down a hair so you guys can see the top of her head a little bit better. Because I want you guys to really see how I got this started. Because I think that's one of the hardest parts. Okay. wish I could tip her back a hair, but we might just have to do with this. Is this view okay? I hope so. So how I did the last one was, I have my needle threaded with ribbon, and I'm gonna use these inside loops of the braid, that's why we didn't French braid into them, as my grommets essentially for my corset lacing. So I'm gonna go underneath the first one. I'm gonna wanna make sure that I am truly under just this loop of hair. I don't wanna be under any other hair. Push my needle through, and I'm gonna pull the ribbon. And I'm gonna make sure I'm holding down on the rest of the hair so I don't pull any of that through, because that will just kind of make it a little bit messier. So now I've done this side, I'm gonna start the other side. So, oh no, well she's a wig head, so it's okay. Now on this side, I'll show you how to do the bobby pin version. So to use bobby pin, we're gonna go under the same, I wanna make sure I'm going under the same loop horizontally. So I started over here on this side, so I wanna make sure I start exactly on the same height on the other side. And I'm gonna stick the bobby pin underneath the loop here, where I want it to be. Sorry, this way, I think. And then I can thread the ribbon through the bobby pin and pull the bobby pin through like it's the needle. So first I want to make sure I'm going in the right loop here. And I think I'm through the whole, okay, I'm through the whole loop now. I'm sorry, I feel like this is so hard for you guys to see, so I do apologize. This is pretty complex and I want to make sure you guys can see it okay. Oops, we moved the whole camera that time. It probably doesn't help that this is a very light wig. So I'm underneath this first loop with the bobby pin. If you have a bobby pin that's a little bit more like sprung, that might even be better. I haven't tried this yet, but in theory, I know it will work. I'm gonna grab the end of my ribbon, push it through the loop of the bobby pin as if it was a needle and thread. And this is of course the hard way to do it. The easy way to do it would just be to go, I don't know why I didn't do it like this from the beginning. Just go like this, push your bobby pin onto the ribbon. Oh my goodness, wow, this is the easier way to do this for sure. Push your bobby pin onto the ribbon, and then just find the loop you want to use. I think I was using this one here. You can lift up the loop, push the bobby pin through. You can grab your ribbon and pull it. Wow, it's so easy. I could have been doing it this way the whole time and not stabbing myself with a ribbon. And now that I've got my two starting pieces through, I'm gonna undo this top bobby pin because I don't want this like loop. I want this to be kind of tight. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this and flatten it. And I'm gonna twist these ribbons so that they lay flat. Sorry, that was probably hard to see. There we go. Alright, so we've started. So now I just need to determine how steep, or, you know, I guess how, like, detailed I want the corset lacing to look. So, you know, do I want to go every other loop, every third loop, every fourth loop? So I'm going to make this one pretty, I think pretty wide, just for the sake of time. Okay, so I'm on the needle side here, like this. And what I'm going to do is move this ribbon out of the way. And I'm going to pick where I think is a good spot, go underneath that, pull it through, and once we've pulled through, we're just going to flatten that out nice and pretty, and then we're going to come down the other side at about the same angle, at least we're trying to. Maybe I'll make it a little bit steeper. We'll come over to about here. We'll do this one. Go through here. I feel like I'm already running out of ribbon because of how far apart these braids are, but if you can get your braids to be a little bit closer together like I did on my initial pass over here, which now you can't see, oops, then you will have a better time with this. So I can see that this ribbon got a little bit twisted, so Just gonna work my way down it and flatten it out. And I'm gonna continue down this hair here. Just I can get this out of the way. I think I'm gonna go over to about here. So again, I have this big sewing needle with my ribbon on it. I'm just gonna go underneath the braid as if it was a grommet on corset lacing. Looks like I missed some hair from this loop, so I'm just gonna try to fix that. There we go. Still not perfect. Now, like I've said many times, it doesn't have to be perfect. I myself am a little bit of a perfectionist, so you may notice that as I go through these things. Alright. We're just going to flatten that out best we can. Might take a little bit of this, like wiggling back and forth business. And then I'm going to do one more because we're going to do something a little bit different with this wig. Go through right here about. And I realize now we are very low on the wig, so it might be hard for you guys to see, so I apologize for that. Okay, now you can see, sorry, as we're working our way down, we are pulling the braids together, similar to what happened with our example one. So if I wanted to do this, what I would continue to do is just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth all the way until the bottom, until I get to the bottom. I would take the ends and, oops, just stab myself, just tuck them under like this and pin it with some bobby pins so that it's out of the way, and then you have this nice beautiful corset lacing. But we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to do a little bit of a variation because inspiration has struck me, and I feel like it. So we're going to get back to this other ribbon here. I know that this is a little bit, you know, it's a relaxing thing to do, is work on hair, watch the stream. So now we're on the second set of lacing. I'm going to find the same height that I crossed over on the other side, and I'm going to try to go exactly there. I'm admittedly not doing as good of a job on this one as I did on the other one. Who knows why? Maybe because it's live. And, you know what they say is just do it live. So, we are going to pull through here, and it looks like the only downside to this bobby pin method is that you can grab extra hair, so just be careful with that. So we're just pulling it through, and I'm going to try to flatten this out again. Just twisting the ribbon so it's flatter. So now we have starting to look like a corset lacing. Woohoo! Right, and now we're going to cross over this one again here. Let's see. Why is this like looking so wonky? We might need to come down. It looks like I came down pretty far on the other one. So I probably needed to come into this this hole here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to undo some of this a little bit. So please forgive me. It just started lagging a little bit. Okay. I'm just checking my Ethernet cord to make sure it's in all the way, and I'm going to make sure I don't have anything else open. So I'm going to close these two tabs, so hopefully that helps a little bit with the frame rate. Is it still a little bit laggy? Actually, it looks a little bit laggy for me too. Is this any better? I hope that this works a little bit. I'm gonna undo just a little bit of this for you guys here, and I do apologize. I know that this takes time, and I do want to move on to bang cutting. I know everybody's very excited about that. I'm very excited about it, just because it needs done on the wig that it needs done on. So I'm just threading this ribbon through my very large sewing needle. I think this might be considered a tapestry needle, but I know it's not like a loop, so I'm not entirely sure. But I won't say scientific name, but you know the technical term for this type of needle is. I'm actually going to pull out this one too. I feel like I went a little bit too steep in the beginning and it just wasn't working out for us. So never be afraid to stop and try again and lose your scissors like I just did. So I'm just going to cut the end of this so that it threads a little bit better. Still laggy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that it is still laggy. I will... Actually, I'm gonna... Okay, good. I'm recording also, so I will have the video saved onto my computer. And I will try to... We will definitely get this on YouTube. The VOD will be available for about 2 weeks. We just need a little bit of time to edit the video. Alright, and now this is starting to look a little bit better already. I'm just going to try to whip through this kind of quickly. Trying to make sure that that is flat. Coming across. Going under another loop. Pushing the other hair out of the way so that it doesn't get caught with us. And I think I'll go through I want to make sure that these two lines look parallel. So it's not necessarily going to be the same number of loops every time. I think this one might be right here. So we're going to go through this loop. It's one of those measure twice, cut once things. Line it up again, make sure it works, and then thread through. And I need to do a little bit of work flattening this here. And I think I'll go through maybe 1 or 2 times more. Again, I want to make sure that this line and this line are parallel. Sorry, this one that I'm holding. So it looks like we're going to go through this loop right here. So I'm just pushing my needle through here, but also you can use a bobby pin with ribbon on it. Or you could even use like a zip tie as a big needle, or maybe even like a bread twisty. Anything you can get that'll allow you to do that. Alright, so now we've done one side. I'm going to do the other kind of quickly, and then we will finish up this style and get on to the bang cutting. Woohoo! Yes, good. Yes, please. We will definitely... I want to get this on YouTube for sure. I know there's not a lot of resources out there for J-fashion styles. The one that I was able to find was from like 2015, and it's not even Lolita. It just happens to have Misako in it. And she's doing like hairstyles for the businesswoman, which is worth the watch. If I can find the link to it, I'll try to share it on the Discord. Oh my god, this is beautiful. I love it. Oh, the purple. The color looks a little strange on my monitor. It looks a little bit blue, but it looks so pretty in real life. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna scooch this ribbon up. It's kind of sitting in a weird place here. That's the other good thing about this ribbon, is you can just kind of like pull it through to tighten it or adjust it as needed. I think we're going to go through this loop here, and we're almost done with this hairstyle. And it looks like I went under some real hair, so what I'm going to do is try to fix this by pulling this hair out, letting go of the needle very carefully. And I'm just going to try to tuck it underneath the ribbons and pull it back into the background. So, any mistake is fixable. You just need to take a step back, look at it, reapproach it, maybe from a different angle. And there you go. Okay, so I got a little bit of twisting going on here. So again, I'm just going to kind of do this thing where I like try to flatten the ribbon, do a lot of this pulling back and forth motion, which will flatten it out for me. I'm looking at the monitor, and it doesn't quite look the same way as it does to me in real life. It looks like it's a little bit crooked, but maybe my camera is a hair crooked. And we're about to go through the second to last loop, which is going to be down here. And then we have one last loop, and we're going to end this corset lacing just for the sake of time and the style that I thought of on the fly when I was talking about other things you can do with a half French braid. So, 2 half French braids, I should say. So this is the last loop I'm